Well, meowdy everybody, how's it going? Welcome back. Whoops, the brightness is up way too high. There we go, I fixed that. Hello Delta, hello Bladevap, Stumbles, Watermelon. How's everyone doing today? Happy Friday. See, now the brightness is not bright enough. You have to find the sweet spot where it's not absolutely exploding your eyeballs. Let me just try moving my light down a little. That helps kind of. It's the freaking weekend, everybody. Blade says I got roped into doing an extra hour at work. No, the worst. At least you got paid. I hope you got paid for it. Worth it? Nah. Well, that's in the eye of the beholder, isn't it? Today is a Rainspore stream, and I am working on one of the special Mycelium Master tier designs, which was the special tier that you could back on my Kickstarter, where you get to put a creature or an item into the game. This is the Bliss snake. I love this thing. This is a pet snake that has wings and is full of love, and maybe that's it. Not a lot of thinking going on, a lot of loving going on. And the Bliss Snake can give you some help against saves made to avoid being frightened. And it can also grant you 1 bonus hit point with its good attitude. This thing is so wonderful. I like it a lot. Really, really, really head empty kind of creature, which is wonderful. And it's based off of a corn snake, so it's got that pretty orange and tan and yellow coloration, which I think will look really nice with this like foresty background. Just doing a little bit of cleaning up on my sketch here. We are listening to a playlist I found on YouTube called Video Game Music Playlist for Getting Up to Some Big Mischief. So I hope everyone is feeling mischievous in this chat tonight. I took a quick photo of this sketch before I start messing with it so that I make sure I stay true to the underlying sketch, because I do need to put a whole bunch of corn snake patterns on the body. Corn snakes have almost a giraffe-like set of patterns. Hi Flareon, how are you? Happy freaking weekend. Okay, there we go. I got a good photo of the sketch. So everything should be preserved for posterity. I have a bunch of photos of the specific pet snake that this is based on, which I think will help quite a bit. Blade, you're currently on a 3-stream streak. Oh, that must be a new feature. Okay. Blade says, I'm feeling mischievous. Got my Team Rocket cosplay finally on its way. Took way too long. Gonna steal all your cornbread. No! The watch streak feature is interesting. I feel like a lot of you are just gonna immediately rack up insane streaks. Okay, there's the little nostril, and then there's like a little, right behind the eye, there's a little marking that's almost like a stop sign shaped marking. And then there's a little, like, kiss-shaped marking right in front of the schnoz. I'm going in very, very, very lightly with pencil, so you probably can't even really see what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of marking where the scales are on this creature. They have a bunch of small scales around the mouth. And then big splotchy orange markings on the body. It's almost 1 week until... No, it's literally 1 week until Halloween, isn't it? I can't believe it came up that fast. I am utterly unprepared. We keep saying we're gonna put our decorations out, and we have not done that yet. Tonight we are going to put the decorations out. On God, we have a plan. Okay. Thankfully, I got a nice, beautiful photo of a corn snake that shows like the entire body. The markings on a corn snake are quite splotchy and random. So we're just gonna put them on where it feels most pleasing for there to be a marking. I think that will be nice. They do get a little bit smaller towards the very tip of the tail, but not a whole lot actually. They go pretty far down the body before they start getting smaller. And this little fella is coming down from the canopy, so the perspective is like greatly foreshortened. Okay, there's all the markings. And then last but not least, the very tip of the tail has little markings on it. There we go. Looking good. Birthday's after Halloween too. Hey, happy early birthday! Day 2 of Slowpoke Shiny hit no luck yet. I saw that they touched up Slowpoke's Shiny in Legend ZA. I'm wondering if there are other shinies they touched up. I know they fixed Raichu's coloration in its model. It's now extremely nice dark orange color, which, I mean, thank goodness. He was really washed out before. Fluffy will be happy to hear that. Raichu is looking good. Okay, I think this is actually ready to start painting. I do want the light source to be coming up from the bottom, so I'm just gonna write that down here to remind myself this is going to be lit from below. And then up above is going to be like a dark blue night sky, and then the canopy of the trees coming down at like an angle like this. Like here's some of the trees with the branches. Yeah, there we go. Static says I join, and the first thing I hear is Raichu. Today is a good day. It seriously is. It's a good day for Raichus. Raichu. The plural of Pokemon is always no S on the end. Go. Got the little chin here. Raichus. Okay, I'm going to lighten up the pencil markings on the edge of the body just a little bit. I don't think they're actually going to show that much with the colors that I'm using, but just on principle. I don't like having a lot of dirty sketch marks in my paintings. I follow some watercolor artists who just leave the pencil marks like fully on the painting and just work over them, and it actually looks really good. I haven't figured out how to do that myself yet, but I think you just have to have like really strong, clean pencil lines, and I tend to have rather rough, sketchy lines, so it doesn't work as well as one might hope. Okay. Let's grab some of my yellow ochre. That's going to be a major color for this painting. There we go. Got some yellow ochre. Already got red and brown on the canvas. We got... I could use a little more orange, honestly. The mental image of Among Us drip Raichu. Raichu with the big shoes. Raichu would need really long shoes. It's extremely long feet. We need like clown shoes. Poor Raichu. Okay, I'm going to mix this nice tan color with a little bit of red to warm it up. Raichu and Mew both. True, Mew would need huge shoes. And then we're simply going to begin. I think I'm going to make that a little yellower here. This is really good music for this particular creature. I feel like this is the tune that just plays in its head 24/7. And the tail gets really long and thin at the end here. Both because that's how snakes work, and also because it's like the angle here has got a lot of forced perspective to it, so the head looks a lot bigger than it is, and the tail looks a lot smaller than it is because of how the camera is placed. Is this Banjo-Kazooie music? Hi, Boulder! Was not expecting BK music. Clown shoes are the only shoes that would fit. Maybe 2 pairs of sandals or slippers. There's a Mew there right now. Happy Friday to Boulder and Armades, and I think I already wished a happy Friday to Static, but if not, happy Friday, Static. I'm going to lighten up the underside of this just a bit. Corn snakes tend to have a lighter tummy. I thought you were streaming in 15 minutes, otherwise I would have rated you. I was streaming Megabunk. Is Megabunk good? I've heard good things about it. My booth assistant at TwitchCon really talked it up. And I think I watched them play it on Game Grumps. Is it the one with the cute little, like, fox mage guy? Or am I thinking of a different game? Okay, so the wings are coming out of the back, but there should be a little strip of scales in between them. And then I gotta get the little round snout the right shape here. There we go. I love how, like, recognizable Banjo-Kazooie music is. It's really got a certain something to it. I feel like it's like the tuba, the like wah, 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 wah. There we go. I'm gonna do just a tiny bit of paint on the lower jaw, just to give it a color other than like pure white, and then we're gonna use the paper towel and soak most of that off. It's a subtle touch, but it actually makes quite a big difference. Let me check on my camera. Yeah, that looks okay. Camera's really not doing so well today. Turn up the brightness just a touch. Turn up the color a little bit, maybe. Yeah, it's fine. Let's see. It has been Saturday for 1 hour and 18 minutes for me. Happy Saturday, Static. Also happy very late at night. Megabunk is very good. Yes, it is. It does look really fun. This is how you know Megabunk is a good game. The thunder mitts hitting an enemy clap their cheeks so hard it generates a lightning strike. Okay, that's really good. Thank you for following, Sun Gekuga 658. I gotta put Banjo-Kazooie music on more often on this stream. It's very appropriate. Hi, welcome to the chat. Alright, what am I gonna do next here? Oh yeah, I have a reference open for Corn Snake's tongue. It's sort of a peachy pink. Not like a bright pink color, but it does match the rest of the coloration quite nicely, I think. So I'm just gonna mix up a little bit of pink with a little bit of yellow to get that sort of peachy color. There's the little forks. This one's a little too thick. Just clean that up there. way back into this little kind of almost cat-shaped mouth. Hi Iris, how's it going? I completely understand. There will be a VOD of this later if you want to catch that. I'll probably be uploading it to my YouTube VOD channel as well. I hope you have a wonderful time running around today, though. I'm so excited to ship this to you, and then also your kobold illustration. It's been sitting there staring at me on my shelf for weeks. I can't wait to send it. Man, this music would be great for like a Halloween party, actually. It has like the right feeling. Zoom in a little bit on my reference page here so I can see what the heck's happening. What the heck is going on around here? I had such a funny thing happen to me the other day. Did I tell you guys about this? I got like a spam email from a company. Oops, sorry, that was my timer going off. I got like a spam email saying that like Facebook was settling a class action lawsuit about like privacy breaches and that they were gonna like Venmo me money. I immediately deleted it because I was like, this is bullshit. And then they actually did Venmo me money, and I looked it up and it's a real class action lawsuit, and they are just apparently paying people out via Venmo, which to me seems a little weird, but the money has hit my bank account, so I don't know, kind of funny. Really thought it was BS until I got the money. What the heck is going on around here, says Boulder. So true. I wish I could tell you, man. How much money did you make? They gave me, I believe, $34 or $35. Which seems a little small for them stealing my data, but you know, I'm not gonna look a gift horse in the mouth. Yeah, it was $34.69. Nice, 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 nice. It's not too bad, this blade. Yeah, I mean, it's money. I'll take it. I paid for my dinner the other night, so we will live with it. Okay, this creature has a like ambery orange eyeball. So I'm going to mix up some of this sepia color with a bit of orange to get that really rich, almost like a caramelly looking color. We had a corn snake briefly when I was younger. My brother got it while he was at college, just one of those like impulse college purchases, and then really he wasn't living a lifestyle where he could, you know, take care of a snake. They require quite a bit of work. So he brought the corn snake home and it became my corn snake. And one day, she was really good at jailbreaking, and one day she escaped the enclosure and we just could not find her anywhere. And months had gone by, so I was like, well, I guess that she has either passed. The story is a happy ending, by the way. I figured she either passed or escaped into the wilderness, and I just would not see her again. And then one day I found her in my... I'd thrown my bathing suit on the bathroom floor after coming home from the pool, and then later on I went to pick up my bathing suit, and she was in my bathing suit. Yeah, apparently she had been partly living out on our porch. We had like a balcony with a lot of plants on it. My mom has a real green thumb, and we had a lot of plants, and you know, there were like snails and slugs and all kinds of little critters that lived out on the balcony, and my mom had heard the snake out on the balcony but wasn't able to catch her. So yeah, she had a couple months of wild freedom, eating snails and living a exotic lifestyle. I hope she had a great time. And then eventually we gave her to a family who was very excited to... They were looking to buy a snake, and they were like, you can just have this snake. And they were all prepared to take care of her, and they're very excited, so happy ending. Boulder says, that's not even remotely close to cover the massive amount of debt you incurred when I spent all the rainforest money on foreign cheese. You didn't even buy me one car for my massive car collection? Do you hate me? Uh, Iris says, I need to drive off, but oh my god, I can't fully express how perfect this idiot baby is. I'm so glad! I really tried to, I tried to work off of the photos you sent me of your snake's incredibly blank expression. That's horrifying! Glad you found her! She was a tiny little thing, so I was more worried for her than I was for us. She didn't even have teeth or anything. I knew she was inside of the bathing suit, but I can't help but imagine the snake was wearing the suit! Katie, don't say that. I love the uses folder. Yeah, I bet. That's a funny way to spell love. I think about her 6B and 4 cars. She needs more! 1 minute, no name is scratching at the door. I'm gonna let him in. Baby boy. Hey, don't do that. Come in. Okay, fine, you can stay out there, whatever. I opened the door and he ran away. He like ran down the hall and then turned around and just looked at me. Also, we came home from TwitchCon with a strange item. Someone came up with like a bag and was like, you can take anything out of this bag to Clay. And Clay pulled out this coin that says Eden, and then underneath in tiny letters it says Crystal Crackhead Cult, and it's got this little guy on it. And then on the other side it says Blobbin Token. And I looked up all of these terms and different combinations everywhere, and I could not find any hits, so I have straight up no idea what this is. I got one of those results where Google was like, there aren't any terms that match this. They were just like, yeah, there's nothing. Sorry, we can't give you anything at all. Money from the future. I thought it might be like related to, I don't know, like Bitcoin or something, but... Sorry, 1 second, hang on. Okay, there we go. Whoops, oh my god, I almost closed the stream. That would have been so funny. Just being like, 1 second, guys. Truly, a Vaporeon is now offline. An extremely niche reference or inside joke. It must be. I want in on the joke, honestly. I want to be part of their world. I'm like, I almost said I'm like Tarzan. Oh my god, I'm like the Little Mermaid. I'm mixing up Tarzan with the I wanna know, or no, I'm mixing up the Little Mermaid with the I wanna know, will you show me? And I'm thinking of part of that world. Is this RuneScape music? Let me check. Yes, this is Witching from RuneScape, or Run Escape, as the true fans call it. My table assistant this weekend is a huge RuneScape enjoyer. And he got to meet some well-known RuneScape streamers. I had no idea who these people were, because I know very little about RuneScape, but I was really happy that he just so happened to have those people come by the booth, because I was like, man, I don't know where you would find these people at the convention. I don't even know if they're on social media. I don't know anything. I believe this is Night in the Woods music. Can't go wrong with that. Always wonderful. This sounds like minigame music from Night in the Woods, I think. How was TwitchCon? It was wonderful, thank you. Hi, Toby, how's it going? Good boy tokens. I wish someone would give me a Bitcoin instead of the Blobbin token or whatever that is. Yeah, TwitchCon was a blast. I met so many nice people who came by my booth. Just a really good time. I don't know, I love that con. I know weird stuff always happens on other floors of the event, but I only ever hear about that stuff like after the con is over, so... I'm a little out of the loop on it, but the Artist Alley is always wonderful. They treat us really well there. How am I gonna do this? Let's think for a second. Okay, I know how I'm gonna do this. Thank you for following. Welcome to the VAP chat. Okay, I gotta get some much more oranginess to the creature here. Add a little more water to that. again, I need to very quickly soften up the edges, because it kind of just melts together. There's no like hard lines. And the wings are going to be white to give that kind of angelic feeling. They're going to be like dove wings. I'm using this super thin part of my brush to fill in some of the gaps between the feathers. And then the like actual like giraffe spots are going to be a much darker orange with sort of a light outline, which I think will look nice. And the reason I think it looks nice is because it looks nice in nature. That's how it looks on the snake. And now as the body gets farther away from the camera, I'm actually going to make the orange lighter and lighter because things that are farther away are less saturated, which is a very important thing to remember if you're trying to put depth into your artwork. Stuff that's up close will be saturated and warm in color, stuff that's far away will be cold and desaturated. Hi Kiwi, back from fighting abominations. Now what does that mean? Hi Chila, whoa, snack. Worm! I'm so envious of folks who can watercolor. I have no patience, says Squeed. Thank you, thank you. Hello Hummingbell, I like your username. Love the shapes in this so far. Thank you, I appreciate it. I don't often do a whole bunch of different sketches, like, before I do a painting. I often will make a handful and then just pick my favorite, but for whatever reason, I was really fighting for my life preparing for this one. I think I finally got the shapes that I like, though. I have heard watercolor pencils are cool. I have never made a serious attempt at using them. A whole different set of creatures tonight. No, Vab, just strange lizards and birds. Hi, Vab. Snakes are hard, honestly. The reason that snakes are hard, this came to me like 15 minutes ago when I was talking to Clay. The reason snakes are hard is because, like, let's say you're drawing, I don't know, a wolf, right? The wolf has a lot of features. So if you get any one of them wrong, the rest of the features can still make the wolf look good. A snake has almost no features. So if you mess up the face or the body, those are the only things it has, and everyone will be able to tell. Kiwi says, I've been playing Look Outside, which is full of unpleasant creatures. Abomination is a light description, actually. Is that the one that's related to I'm Not Human? I've never tried watercolor pencils either. I actually own a set of them. I've never been filled with the desire to use them. This is a Kickstarter pet. Yes, this is a Kickstarter pet for Iris. Y'all remember maybe like 6 months ago or 7 months ago I did that, the snake, like, barbarian character, with the big battle hammer. It had the same pattern, the orange corn snake pattern. This is the same person who commissioned it. But yeah, this is a Mycelium Master Kickstarter pet. If you slap a forked tone on there, people always recognize it as a snake. True. Fern does not like this snake. Don't worry, this snake is probably smaller than Fern. It's a very small snake. Not related, but it's got a similar vibe. More of an RPG. Oh, okay. I don't, because while I like normal colored pencils in theory, they're a huge pain to render with, so time-consuming, and watercolor pencils would be the same. Yeah, I used to have a lot of issues with my hands from drawing so much. A lot of, like, what's the word, like arthritis-type issues, and I don't have very much these days because I mostly just paint, which is a lot gentler on my mitts, thankfully. But every once in a while I will use watercolor every once in a while I will use colored pencils, and inevitably it immediately makes my hands hurt, so I tend to avoid them just because of that. Okay, I'm gonna mix up a nice bluey purple color, because these wings will be white, but this is a dark forest environment, so the white will appear to be more of a bluey purpley white color. Yeah, the watercolored pencils, the thing that I worry about with those is that watercolor is already like, I'm very comfortable with the amount of control that I have or do not have with watercolor, and I feel like the pencils would kind of pull in the other direction of like, you have some control, which like, I don't really want, honestly. If I was wanting control, I wouldn't be using watercolor as a medium. I'd pick something better. Okay, light is coming from below the shot, as I keep reminding myself, so I'm dabbing away the paint that is down there. And this wing is a little bit kind of folded. It's like tucked up more against the body. Partly just for the position the creature is in, because it's swooping this way, and partly because I wanted to be able to fit the whole wing in the painting, and that was the best way to do it. I did not want it falling off the edge. I continue to be having just so much fun with Legends EA. I'm really pleasantly surprised. It's been really fun finding Pokemon just naturally in the city that aren't even in the wild areas. Last night Clay was watching me play a little bit and I heard the shiny notification and was like, oh my god, I don't know where it is. And I spent so long just like slowly creeping around, and like I didn't realize that it was a Pokemon that was up on one of the scaffolding things, so I was looking like all over the ground, and then finally I realized it was a shiny Patrat that was sitting up on the scaffolding like right next to me, straight up just watching me like, this dumbass. It's really funny. And I did catch it. Let's see. I have a really nice Faber-Castell Polychromos, and I feel guilty about never using them. But yeah, you can dab away at the paint, but you can't dab away your cringe. Oh, watch me. I thought you said dabbing away the pain. I wish. Same sort of. I think watercolor gives you some control in a you can coax it to flow in various directions kind of way. Watercolor pencils feel like they'd be more permanent when placed to me. Yeah, I think I'd like to fiddle around with it a little bit. I found a shiny before you. Nice. I think I just got really lucky. I mean, I guess that goes without saying. I feel really dumb for saying that. That's literally what it means to get a shiny. My experience has been that coloring works similar to regular watercolors, but the paint is already on the paper first. A small amount of the pencil lines may stick around, which could be neat for complex or small details, but that seems hard to master. Interesting. Honestly, talking about this is making me want to fiddle with it. Kiwi says, are you playing on Switch or Switch 2? I'm wondering how it's been running on Switch. Blade says, I'm struggling. Kiwi says, I don't have a Switch 2. I'm worried it's not going to run on the Switch. I have a release Switch 1, like the oldest a Switch can be, and I've played it to pieces. And I'm playing the Switch 1 version of the game, and I have had literally 0 bugs so far. I don't even feel like I'm playing a Pokemon game after the way that Scarlet and Violet was. And honestly, even Sword and Shield had some issues. This game has run perfectly so far. I don't know whether I'm lucky or what, but I seriously have not had a single problem. So yeah, it's crazy. There's not even very much like pop-in or anything like that. I'm surprised. 0 bugs. Well, okay, there's a spinner rack. I've managed to find 3 shinies. That's because I'm deliberately rezoning into places to find them. Oh, sick. Which ones did you get? Nice. 0 bugs sounds like a major issue. Hopefully I can pick it up next payday then. It's honestly really fun. I was like, I was like kind of dumping on it before. Like, it did not look like a good game. I'm sorry. It looked really ass. But it feels good to play. It doesn't like look special in any particular way. It's like pretty generic, honestly, in terms of the like environments and stuff. But it feels really good and snappy. And the like gameplay loop is good. Everything is reactive. The boss battles are fun. One thing that I learned that if you didn't know, this is a hot tip, when you're in photo mode, not when you're in a cafe, but when you're in normal photo mode, if you press the trigger buttons, you can go through different music soundtracks, and your Pokemon will do its actions based on the soundtrack, so it'll like go to sleep, or do a battle pose, or do a happy pose, so you can get really good photos based just on that. It's like, it's so weird. I know I'm supposed to be painting right now, I'm sorry, but I'm just going to talk about this for a little longer, because it's my stream. It feels like The studio actually in this game finished several features that have been in the games for years but have not been finished. And they finally just finished them. Like the photo mode to me, maybe other people disagree, but it finally feels like it's done. Like it actually just works. Whereas before it was like, yeah, they spent a couple weeks fiddling with this and then said, whatever, let's ship it. It just like didn't feel good to use before, and it finally feels good. I don't know, I'm relieved. I've just been taking tons of photos of my Pokemon, and they put so many unique animations in. It's just, I don't know, it's good. Let's see, an entire type is just missing. You have the oldest Switch known to man. It did not have Uno. Pokemon fans up today. Wow, this game almost works sort of okay for once. 10 out of 10. Honestly, the bar's on the ground. Flabebe, Kakuna, and Weedle. You got Kakuna and Weedle? What are you hunting for? Or are you hunting for anything? Be funny if it was Beedrill. I can't for the life of me find a shiny other than the guaranteed one. Wouldn't be a VAP stream without so much yapping, and it wouldn't be nearly as fun and lively then either. True. I paint really fast when I'm off stream because I'm not talking. Go figure. Yapping, don't you mean vapping? Photo mode felt so lackluster in other games. Yeah, it's like, it's not crazy in this game. It's not like amazing, but it's just a lot. It's easier to control. They let you zoom out a lot farther. They let you do a lot more angles, and like your Pokemon actually like do cool stuff. I want to show you guys my photos. Ugh. I was hoping for a Weedle. How did I reply to myself? Okay, that's really funny actually. Alright, I need to work on the background before I go farther rendering the snack here. What the hell are we listening to right now? Demento Charming Magician. Okay. Oh, it's from Super Paper Mario. Okay, that's why it's so bouncy. Fapping is bad for your lungs! I don't. I talk so much even without a stream to make me lose focus. Debating between Frostlass and Auroras, as well as Talonflame, Delphox, Houndoom. Oh yeah, 1 second. Hang on, I'll be right back. 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. Clay was trying to find my keys and he couldn't find them anywhere, and he really needs to leave the house right now. They were in a secret place. My purse. But where was my purse? I'll never tell. Alright, what were we saying here? Talonflame, Delphox, Houndoom, and Chandelure. I love all those Pokemon. I have a clip before my Scolipede evolved. It was bouncing and ramming into a wall endlessly. Demento sounds like an insane asylum inmate, but clown. Gonna be using Feraligatr, Excadrill, and some guys, aka Phalanx. You respawn mons over and over time, so I went through 4 zones. Seems enough to force respawns. It's interesting to think about, because it's my understanding that the game does not despawn shinies once it has spawned them. So the longer that you play, the more likely you are to find one naturally, because it'll continue resetting the spawns for everything else, but not for shinies. I think that's very interesting. So I'm wondering if the shiny Patrat that I found, I wonder how long it had been there. Like, I have no idea. It could have been there for a very long time. Maybe since the beginning of the game, and I just never happened to find it. It's interesting to think about. Okay, I want to make these trees a lot scrunglier. I made them like way too stiff and straight looking. And that doesn't feel very rainforesty to me. Even though ironically it is. Something interesting that I've learned through working on this project and just trying to like learn more about rainforests and how they work and what kinds of plants and stuff are in them. Rainforest trees, by and large, tend to be extremely tall and extremely straight. Obviously there are, exceptions, but the main types of trees that are in rainforests are not super bumpy and wavy. They're very, very strangely straight, because their goal is to grow up as fast as they possibly can, because at the bottom of the rainforest floor there's very little light, so they're all down there fighting for a chance to get chlorophyll, essentially. So the faster they can grow up, the better. So they don't actually want to grow in strange patterns, they just want to go up as fast as possible. Which I thought was really interesting. But I think when people picture a jungle or a rainforest, they are picturing gnarled moss, moss-covered, lumpy, interesting foliage, so that's certainly worth considering here. Sometimes reality doesn't look the way we think. There we are. Okay. Mecha says it's enough to force respawns and quickly travel through other zones. Which of your 30,000 cars is he taking? Oh, whatever one he wants. I just spawned the Slowpoke in Zone 10 over and over, no shiny yet. It's tragic. What? I heard the sound! Huzzah. Slowpoke? No, Pidgey on a lamppost. Oh my god, you got a shiny while complaining about not having a shiny and it wasn't the shiny you were looking for! That's so sad. I'm sorry, please. I'm sorry for laughing, but that's honestly funny. Fun fact, I technically literally live in a rainforest. Oh, Pacific Northwest style? Where do you find the gay trees, and more importantly the bisexual trees? The Weedle and Cocoon are on the same tree at 2 different times? That's cute. Check out the trees in Chernobyl. You clearly haven't gone to the gay rainforest of coastal Massachusetts. Yeah, Nova Scotia, that's right. Yes, that's because there's no reality. Mind freak! There's no reality. Yes, a temperate rainforest. Absolutely. Okay. It's time to figure out what the heck is going on around here. Let me just think for a second. Everyone just be quiet. I'm just gonna think. What am I doing? Okay, I think I actually need another reference here. Yeah, there we go. I did just need another reference. Sometimes I'm just fighting for my life, you know? Here we go. Night sky through canopy, low angle of lush rainforest. You know, sometimes the universe really delivers, and this is one of those moments. Is it AI generated? Maybe. Actually, the longer I look at it, the more I think it might be. However, it's just a color reference, so I'm going to ignore the questionable anatomy of these trees and just get the vibes of the color correct. I have a ton of beautiful pictures of it, actually. I believe it. Inhales deeply. Vap's trying to think. Chat becomes visibly concerned. You slowly see some smoke start to drift over the room. Okay. So now that I have a plan, I know I said I was going to wait to do the snake's patterns until later, but I lied to you, and I'm not going to do that. I am, in fact, going to do more work on the snake now, because I like lying. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Alright, the corn snack has black pupils, but they're sort of, they've got a touch of warmth to them, so I'm going to mix a little bit of this sepia into my black. You lied to us. You're a corn snack. I'm a Frito. Alright, there is the poople. And the outside of the eye has like a dramatic little eyeliner too, which is really cute. There we go. The eye is a very important part of this creature, so didn't want to really go ahead with this without doing that first. And now we can start working on the markings for real, for real. It's time for keepsies. I'm going to such lengths to obtain burger today. One of the struggles of house sitting for my parents. Burgers are so far away. Yeah, totally send them, child. I just want to see them. You loyed to us. I already read that. In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. It's a corn snake? They're such pretty little guys. They are. I love corn snakes. Love a corn snack. Do they taste like corn? And a corn snake. If you were a candy, what kind of candy would you be? I'd be like a weird, fruity, chewy candy. I'd be like a jujube or something like that. Those candies that, like, people don't really like. I ended up looking at random National Forest gallery, and I was looking for flower references in that Zelda Redrawn project, only to draw some 4x4 and 6x6 flower sprites. Oh my gosh. The eyes are important to most creatures, besides moles. I think those guys are blind. Not to cavefish. Will do in a couple minutes. No rush. Where does the name corn snake come from? Corn snake name origin. Their belly patterns resemble the kernels of Indian corn, and they are frequently found around corn cribs and corn fields where they hunt rodents. Well, there you go, guys. It's because they look alike corn, and they be like corn. Just a really corn-focused kind of animal. That's really funny. Do they taste like corn? Okay, I'll Google it. Do corn snakes taste like corn? No, corn snakes do not taste like corn, according to Google AI. And then just a bunch of people getting really worried about whether snakes have taste buds or not. Is corn grass? Eyes are important to Zubat. A corny animal. Makes sense. Do you think Sneasler and Zubat ever stare into each other's eyes? Corn-coated. I do think that, Mecha, yes. Vap's FBI agent right now. What the hell is she Googling that for? Can't a girl be a little curious? Is that a crime? I just wanted to know. I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to, touch snakes with your mouth in general. I think you can get, like, sick from that. I think. I don't know, that might be misinformation. Someone lick a snake, please, and then check back in with me. Let me know how that goes. I might be thinking of a different animal entirely, so I'm sorry if that was snake slander. And you have to be very careful when handling pet frogs, because like the oils and stuff on your hand can really hurt them. There's a lot of rules for touching little guys. I do not know what we're listening to, but it kind of rules. I'm gonna skip a lot of the wings area and just come back to that in a minute. I need to use a smaller brush for it, is the reason why. I'm gonna add a little more water to my brush to make the spots farther down on the body be more desaturated, as previously discussed. And they almost become just like stripes at the end of the tail. There we go. Cute. Alright, let me catch up here. Where was I? Corn-fed animal. Why would they taste like corn? I don't know. There's sometimes life is strange. Do corn snakes eat the entire corn on the cob? Do they eat the corn off the cob? I feel like it'd be really hard for them to get the corn off the cobs. They probably just eat the whole thing. From what I understand, it depends on the state these days. Salmonella, yes. Not just snakes either, any lizard. Okay, yes, that's what I was thinking of. Are you saying I can't kiss a snake? That's not fair. Same reason, you should always wash your hands after holding a lizard or snake. Salmonella! They're snakes. Snakes are known specifically for the way they eat things whole. You can, I just wouldn't. Have you heard that snakes taste like chicken? And an alligator does, so I assume that holds true for all reptiles. I have heard that. He's so... One broke David says, oh my god, he's so silly and cute. Thank you. If you eat a snake, you better cook it well done like chicken. What if I'm built different? That makes sense. A lot of things taste vaguely like chicken. Wow. Look outside. KO noises. Does he even know he's alive? Definitely not. Oh, I see. The snake versus eel diagram. This is helpful. It's perfect music for this silly snake. Love his big old eyes. Yeah, it kind of is the ideal song, right? It really makes sense. Okay, I think what I'm gonna do for the background, I'm just gonna talk this through for myself. I know it doesn't really matter to you guys, but bear with me. Okay, so up at the top, it's gonna be like a deep, intense blue for like night sky, and then down at the bottom, like the trees are all gonna be black and silhouetted against the like lighter sky, and then down at the bottom, there's going to be green, like brighter green, because there's some kind of a light coming from below this scene. So in fact, I think I'm actually gonna add some like ferns and stuff down here so that you can see the light getting caught in like the leaves. I think that'll look cool. I think that'll look very poggers. You're adding fern? Yeah. What if I just drew the tiniest fern? Like like that's fern, that little dot I just made. I think I'm so funny. That's my problem. That's always my problem. I think it's almost impossible to be a streamer for more than a little while if you don't secretly think that you're very funny. It's like just kind of a requirement. You need to be a little deluded. Maybe even a lot. Alright, so we've got the ferns there. Perfect. Okay. I feel good about this, actually. You're adding mice? Problem is you're too funny. People are always telling me this. Gonna continue taking process shots. Oh, 1 second, I gotta stretch. Oh, illegal stretchy. We have this tree on our street that is like kind of changing colors. It's very funny to me. It's doing a very half-assed color change. It's almost autumn, right? Right, guys? I'm just gonna move this reference onto my big reference board. By the way, if anyone, any artists in the chat who have trouble juggling references, if you're working on like a big piece that has a lot of references, use Canva. It's free, and just use their whiteboard feature. And you can literally just dump all your images on there and like rearrange them however you want. And you can rotate them, you can flip them horizontally. It's just like really, really convenient for organizing references. It's like completely changed my workflow. This is not sponsored. Unless, but no, it's not sponsored. But I actually really, really, really like Canva. And people use it for like other stuff, and I don't care about that. It's, to me, this is a whiteboard. I've sent you pictures of. Thank you. You're so funny. I forgot to laugh. Wow. I forgot about that. That phrase. People used to say that a lot in like the early aughts. You're so funny. I forgot to laugh. It's so easy to forget about like phrases that have like a moment in the sun like that. Because, you know, you just stop saying it eventually and forget about it. I feel like that was in like a lot of movies and stuff too. You're so funny, I forgot to laugh. Okay, it's time to start working on the background for the snack. Phrases like, a moment in the sun. You calling me old? I toss them all over my screen, refs, but it's not the most efficient way to do things. Dude, use Canva, it's the best. Burger obtained. Let's go. Talk to the hand. Oh my god, I totally forgot about talk to the hand. Wow, yeah, that was huge for a while. I'm not only because is it because you're older? You can't call me old. It's out of your jurisdiction. If I called you old, I'd have to admit I'm even older. Exactly, so I'm safe. Thank goodness. Oh, I need my ultramarine blue. Hang on. Don't even talk to me until I've had my ultramarine blue. I completely forgot about talk to the hand. Wow. We used to just say anything. Unlike today, where everything we say makes so much sense. Alright, you know what? I need to stop being a coward. It's just time to go. It's time to paint. I got a little scared there. It happens sometimes with watercolor. You can get scared. But you need to be faster than your fear. You can't let the paint intimidate you. It's just paint. And me, I'm an adult. I'm better than paint. Paint doesn't have anything on me. I own this paint. This paint is my property. Affirmations for when you've chosen a really difficult medium. It is sort of affirming. Every year at TwitchCon, people will come up to my booth and be like, is this all watercolor? And then, like, I'd say at least 50% of people, after I tell them it's watercolor, are like, wow, that's a really hard medium. I tried watercolor once and I hate it. It does make me feel like, yes, I am the queen. I bend this stupid paint to my whims. Sometimes. Other times I fail. We don't talk about those. I got my paintbrush in my mouth. 1 minute, everybody. Please hold. Okay, I need more of my other shade of blue here. But I will deal with that in just a minute. Okay, time to deal with it. It was this one. Got it. I use this blue a lot lately, and it's a blue that just gets used up really fast. It's not like a very dense pigment for whatever reason, so I'll feel like I have a stupid amount of it on my palette, and then I use it all up, and I'm like, oh, I didn't actually have a stupid amount. gonna add a little bit of texture here for visual interest, so it's not so flat of a wash. And then I'm going to continue working my way around this side here. I need to go underneath the tummy now. It's a special technique, going underneath the tummy. They teach you that in watercolor college. Water college. Yeah, I'm just going through this paint. Gee whiz. Catch a break here. Doesn't even really feel like I'm working on that big of a canvas, but it is kind of big actually. I just have been working on really big canvases lately, so this feels small, but it's not actually very small. It's quite large. It's a big fat man of a canvas. Okay, I need to switch to my small brush again to finish the details. Put that down for a minute, switch to the sharp brush. I'll catch up on the chat in roughly 6,000 years. Everyone just hold tight. Now we need to go around each feather, which is simply going to be a bad time, and there's no way around it. We can refine these edges a little bit later, but for now we just need to go, 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 go. So you have to keep working while the paint is still wet. You can't let it dry or you're gonna run into trouble. Like you can see there, the edge dried a little bit, and you can kind of tell. So I'm trying to avoid that as much as humanly possible. Ultimately, there's going to be so much like foliage and stuff that you won't be able to see it in the final product, but go, and then fill in this edge here, while still letting this little guiding feather stick out a touch. And then we're gonna jump onto this side. While that edge is still wet, color it in. Okay, so now is an important step. I'm gonna switch back to my big brush, mix up more of this blue, but I'm gonna add a cheeky little bit of green to it, and we're gonna start slowly fading it down into green. I don't know if the camera's going to pick up that this has green to it at all, but there is in fact some green. Alright, switching to the small brush now. And I'm gonna grab some real true green. And oh so delicately around the creature's little nose and the wing. Just gonna fill it in. And then, of course, paper towel, my beloved. Add a little bit of texture in here and there. Need a bigger brush. Back to my big boy banana bing bong zing zong ding dong brush. We're gonna do a much greener foreground. Still with a lot of blue in it though. Do not know what we're listening to. I kind of dig it. And the last little bit, and this has officially been the hardest part of the painting. It will be more chill from now on, thank goodness. Washes are just always a nightmare, for me, at least. Just very taxing. Apologies if my head is in the shot. Just need to get really close to see what I'm doing here. And last but not least, the tiniest brush of all, my little baby brush that has like 4 hairs on it. Okay, phew, got the dang wash done. That was a nightmare. And then I'm gonna go in with the paper towel, add a bunch of texture here. There we are. Alright, now we're just gonna chill and let this dry a little bit so I can catch up on the chat and breathe. Oops, I whacked my camera. Let me fix that. There, well, it's still really crooked. Okay. I shall continue. Where was I? I can call you old as Boulder. Thank you. Ultramarine is one of the best blues. Agreed. Tall frothy glass of ultramarine blue. Loser, loser, double loser. Whatever. McDonald's worker makes various hand gestures. I forgot about loser, loser, double loser. Wow, we said a lot of weird stuff in the early aughts. We're still saying weird stuff now, but loser, loser, double loser is oddly specific. The paint has a lot on you, actually, Matt, but it's so much blackmail, you have no idea. It told me secretly. Are you gaslighting me with paint? Yes, Queen Slay! Ultramarine, because I mix it with a bunch of things, and it's kind of, I am one of the colors that sort of goes everywhere. True. Vap literally filling half a canvas with blue. Wow, I'm using so much blue for some reason. Burger hitting the spot. I have some photos to share. I find it happens less if you start wet on wet. It gives you more time, but it might not give you enough control for your style. Yeah, wet on wet is too, it's too soft for me. Usually. I like really intense, solid washes of color. I like to use pigment to make yummy, yummy blueberry milk. First tapestry I wove for my friend's birthday. More ultramarine pigments are a bunch of salts and stuff. Probably chosen one of the safer ones to drink. Don't drink cobalt blue and you'll be fine, in quotes. Whoa, that tapestry looks sick. You need to get over this green color you invented. It's a made-up word like glurt, fleam, and honest politicians. Hi, Flair. Flair says gonna lurk today. Sounds good. Same, says Riley. Hello, hello. That's fine. Iris is out at dinner. I had to peek again, doing my best not to vibrate and scream over how wonderful this is. I'm really glad you're enjoying it. I think this is gonna be good. I have a good feeling about this one. The vibes are right, you know? I think this is gonna be a banger. It's in an odd stage at the moment because we just have the wash, but once we start adding in like the details on the trees and stuff, it's gonna look so cool. Just gonna fix a little bit of the areas around each wing. One of the many reasons I really like this concept for a creature in the rainforest is that I feel like the, what's it called? The Quetzalcoatl is a very, kind of popular and common creature for people to feature in rainforest-inspired settings, and we very intentionally steered away from including any, you know, monsters or spirits or whatever that were like from specific cultures that we do not belong to. So I think it's nice to have this little like nod to the Quetzalcoatl, but it's like very transformed, you know? It's a lot more like lighthearted and goofy, and it's just like a pet. We're not making any commentary on that cultural tradition. I think it's good. I'm happy with it. Let's see. On a 3-stream streak. Thank you, thank you. I'm afraid to guess what the song is, but I might know. A very taxing cat. Wonder what sort of artist the series is doing. Oh my god. I wonder what the artist of the series is doing these days. Oh, jumping off a building, you know. Danganronpa version 3 OST, I think. Thank you for redeeming Hydrate and Big Stretch. I would never gaslight you with paint. I'm just not very good at wet on wet. I feel like I need to like watch someone do it to get a good feeling for how to approach it. Toby says, thank you. I learned how to tie string into a net for that tapestry. It's pretty easy once you get the hang of it, but I don't recommend starting with slippery embroidery thread. Yeah, that does sound kind of awful. I don't have the patience for tapestry at all. Oh, I am stretching right now, by the way. Oh, I did go to the gym for like a week and a half because I was just going insane with like convention prep, and I started going again last night, and my body is like, hey, why are you doing evil things to me? I turned on the brightness a little. There we go. Pretty time consuming. You're proud of the subtle cultural nod that the snake is referencing, being cute and subtle and gentle. That's me, cute, subtle, and gentle. That comes Fern being a chaotic gremlin. Well, you gotta have, like, a variety of things in your life. You can't just do one thing and be like, that's fine. You gotta have interest. Texture. That's so funny. I was like, who's DMing me? It's the person who said they were gonna DM me. What a mystery. Real life is a cool nod to Quetzalcoatlus as well. The gliding snakes. Yeah, exactly. I love those guys. I want to keep painting, but I really need to wait for this layer to dry, so maybe I'll just read you guys some search history. Trying to rope friends to going to Dino Mini Golf with me. I have had such a hard time roping my friends into plans lately. I would go to Dino Mini Golf with you. It sounds awesome. I'm trying to get some friends together to see that that horror movie Good Boy, and people really just do not want to go see it, and I think it's because it features a dog. Hi, Echo! Alright, search history. We have the 10 most delicious French tarts. Creme brulee. How do you spell brulee? Types of cheese. French cheeses. List of French cheese. Types of French dessert. Good boy movie. Refulgence. Definition of refulgence. Macaron. Amazon. Then just a bunch of Amazon searches. Not interesting. Tynamo, Nummel, Drillbur, Slowpoke. How to unlock more boxes in Pokemon ZA. Escargot. French foods. Escargot photos. Does Mega Evolution hurt? Mega Lucario. Artists who can only draw sexy women. Artists who can only draw one body type. What is chemical castration? Honage's evolution level. Charlie Bears for sale. Bean and cheese burritos recipe. Foods to try in Paris. Parisian dishes. Parisian desserts. Parisian pastries. Best pastries. Paris pastries. Where to eat in Paris. Al Pastor. Quaxley sticker. Quaxley with a bow tie sticker. Banana bread. Birria. Elf talk. Elk talk. Facebook privacy, customer Venmo support, enchilada corn husk. I went on a journey this last week, let me tell you. Waiting for layers to dry is the hardest part of watercolor. It really is. I would love to go Dino Mini Golfing, says Boulder. Did you see the photos of Dino Mini Golf? No, I'm gonna have to check them after the stream. I spend too much time clicking links on stream. I'm so bad at focusing. What is chemical castration, huh? I saw it in a news article and I was like, I don't know what that means. And then I looked it up and was like, I kind of regret Googling this. On the list of desserts, I like going on the Wikipedia pages for food categories and scrolling down. Frazetta, how to make a pipe bomb. You need a recipe for a bean and cheese burrito? Maybe. That search history. French, concerning questions. French, Mexican food. I don't know, the article I read said chemical castration in such a matter-of-fact way, like I should know, and I was like, well, I don't know. I don't know what that means or what it does, and I want to know. And truly, some things, it's just better not to know, turns out. Let's see. Elf talk. Speaking of 2000 stuff, I sent you a screenshot of MSN Instant Messenger earlier. Oh god. What float drink do I like? I mean, of course, the classic root beer float, you can't go wrong. I have enjoyed a Coke float before. Dr. Pepper and Coke float are both pretty good. I think the concept of an alcoholic float is not good. I several times have been like, oh, that sounds kind of good, and tried to have like a beer float or whatever. Actually disgusting. I'm just no good. No one should do that. Don't have a float that is not based off of a sugary carbonated soda. The sugar is a very important part of a float. You can't just be like, well, I like beer, I'll just use beer as the base. No, don't do that. You deserve better. Just doing a little, shading on the wings here. Soften it up around the edges a little bit. Each of the little feathers will be catching the light here. And I'm continuing to sniffle. I do apologize. There's just nothing I can do about it. It's just going to be gross and sniffly around here. And I have another convention tomorrow, so the sniffles are just going to refresh themselves forever. I think that's just the rest of my life. My booth helper at TwitchCon, Justin. He was so good, so professional, so polite, really good at customer service. But there was one moment where he accidentally let his intrusive thoughts win. Someone nearby the booth did like a very wet, nasty, open-mouthed sneeze, just a real like, Justin just like very audibly and very out loud goes, ew. I was like, Justin, you can't do that. Oh my goodness. Let's see. is French from ZA rubbing off on Bap? I was googling all that French stuff because I was trying to come up with nicknames for my Pokemon in ZA, and I just couldn't think of anything, so I decided to go off French foods. Important information is they have the animatronics right up at the fence, so I was able to ogle them without paying. Oh, that sounds awesome. Do recipes for burritos exist? They do! The bean and cheese burrito recipe that I found was really helpful, because obviously, you know, it's just refried beans and cheese, but you add, like, some spices to the beans to make them yummier, which I would not have known which spices to add. It's just not something I would have been able to intuit. And then also, it gives you, it told me something very important, which was, rather than just, like, getting the ingredients warm and then putting them in the cold tortilla, you wrap everything up in the tortilla, and then you put the tortillas on a sheet pan and put them in the oven for like 10 minutes. So like everything inside gets all like soft and melty, and the tortilla itself gets a little bit crispier on the edges, and the whole thing just kind of holds together better. And yeah, I did that, and my burritos came out really, really good. I made the cheese like melty, but not too melty. It was like ideal. So yeah, I don't know. It wasn't so much a recipe as like a series of things you could do to improve the burrito without too much effort. Because like if instinctively I was going to make a bean and cheese burrito, I would like heat up some beans in a pan on the stove, and then I guess just like sprinkle some cheese? I don't know. There comes moments of confusion. Darkening up some of these body spots. Looking good. Truly some things it's better not to know. It turns out this is Delta. I want to know what chemical castration is for reasons. Root beer? To be clear, Coca-Cola, right, Fab? Yes, Coca-Cola. Article assumed everyone knows what Alan Turing went through, poor guy. The masculine reaction to the word castration is to simply leave. No follow-up questions. Fair. I'm gonna try a mocha float with yogurt flavor this afternoon. Ooh, that sounds intriguing. Beer, not root beer. Real beer. Floats suck. I was really disappointed the first time I tried one. Echo is on a 3-month stream streak. The stream streak thing is a cute addition. I had a nice dark beer and good vanilla ice cream and even a recipe, and it was awful, so disappointing. Yeah, no, beer is like, I love beer. Beer is quite a bitter, almost like astringent tasting drink. You don't want that with something sweet. You tried to make a dessert white Gilgamesh. I googled this, it came up more questions than answers. The white Gilgamesh is the best. Some people should be covering their mouths. Justin! Hell yeah, Justin. The White Gilgamesh is a Tumblr post recipe that is not terrible, even though it was created to be. It's beer and goat milk. Makes sense. Hi, Malachite. How are you? I love the TF2 music. The White Gilgamesh recipe. Thank you, yes. I've got to make the White Gilgamesh on stream someday. I feel like I'm missing out. Alright, I want to do a little more outlining on these wings. I think this brush that I'm using right now is like my #1 brush in line to be replaced. I don't think this will show up on the camera, but it originally had more hairs than it currently has. Let me see if I can show you on the camera. No, there's no way. Basically, all I was trying to say is that you can see around the base of the brush that it used to have a lot of hairs, and now it has like a tiny little patch of hairs left that are hanging on for dear life. Which in some ways is nice, actually, because it gives me a lot of control. But in other ways, I wish I had the right amount of hairs on this brush. Sometimes I think that would make my life a little easier. Alright, there we go. I got that as well. A few places to say this already exists. It's called censored for chat's benefit. You do! Sounds a lot better how I make burritos. I get the meat and beans warm, and then I put everything in tortilla and fry it in the pan until it's burnt and sad looking. watch music. It's going bald. The cold stuff never warms up enough. Yeah, try doing it the way I said. It really worked well, and it didn't take much time either. You just like make the burrito, and then you just put it on a sheet pan and put it in the oven for like 10 minutes. I think it was at like 425, so it's kind of like you're doing a pizza. It's like a pretty high heat. And then everything gets kind of nice and melty in there. It worked very well. I was happy with it. And it was really low effort too, which is important to me in a recipe. You can just make like a huge batch of them and then just put them in a Ziploc in the fridge. Katamari damashi, ba 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 ba. Just trying to get a little more feathering on these wings. I need to stop using that particular paper towel. I just got some crud on the painting. Just gonna clean that up with a little bit of water. It's another hot tip for any aspiring watercolorists out there. Sometimes you can just wash off a mistake with water if you catch it really fast. There we go, nice and clean. You just have to be really fast. Hangout times at the Anime Watch Party. Pals, have a good one. Bap at all. Alright, catch you later, Toby. Thank you so much for hanging out. Little Snake Eyes is Strees. Na 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 na. This is Butsukoi. Yes, we are snacking it up today. Katamari Stream 1. Oh man, that would be fun. I love Katamari. Boulder is onto something. Boulder's always onto something. Never arriving, but always onto something. Okay, I want to do a little bit of like the face markings on this little feller. I'm gonna add a lot of water because I want these to be very gentle markings. Obviously there's the mouth. There's like little scale markings that come off of the mouth. Don't want to overdo it though, it should be very subtle. Thank you for following. Yeah, I just want like the slightest hint of scales. Just enough to make you go, oh, that's a snake. That's got scales. And then I'm gonna grab my reference with the snake's tummy on it. Where is it? There we go. Just gonna add in a little cascade of scales going down the body like so. And then I do want to make this smile a little darker, because I can. Do a reddish brown here. forgetting to talk. Sorry, y'all. I'm happy to be here, but I'm really focused on this one. If I stop talking for a while, it's just because I've forgotten that I'm live. I'm in the snake zone, the snown, as it's called, among true slitherheads like me. Okay, I want to darken up the eye considerably. I'll make the pupil darker in a minute too, to match everything else, but first I need to let the iris get settled in. Oh my god, this is the Chicken Duck Funky Duck song. I love this song. Hang on, I gotta turn it up. It's not. Not even close. You know what, that's fine. Whatever. If I was an animorph, what animal would I morph into first? Well, I gotta try being a bird. I mean, flight is like the immediate go-to, right? Maybe like a very nimble bird, like a peregrine falcon would be cool. Just immediately go test out what it feels like to accelerate to 200 miles an hour. Just really get a feel for that. I think that would be great. It would be fun to try out being a kangaroo. Or like a gazelle. Any of those animals that can like spring in a way that looks very effortless. I can't imagine it is effortless, but it would be fun to do that. I'm gonna catch up here. Unless it's a staining color like green. This is why Katie hates green. It was great seeing you this weekend. Hope your con was good. Yeah, thank you so much for coming by. I had a fantastic time. I'm like still emotionally recovering. It was just like so much fun. So many cool things happened. Just so much stuff happened in general. And then like I'm home and it's like, oh, okay. It's just super quiet at home. Yeah, it was a great con. Always a pleasure. Darken up the nose a little bit. Let's see. A jerboa. That would be fun, but I feel like it would also be kind of scary. Because, like, everything wants to eat little animals. If I was, like, in my house... Well, no, I have cats, though. Oh, God. Okay, if I was a jerboa in a safe location... Okay, so the big patches on corn snakes tend to have a lighter border around them of lighter scales. So using my white ink pen, I'm going to go ahead and indicate that by just hand drawing each of the little scales on there. Just in general, I'm going to start using my white ink pen earlier in the process on this one, because snakes have a lot of reflective scales. The little scales around their mouths tend to be quite shiny and reflective, because they're very rounded. So I'm just going to put little lines of shine around each part of the tongue here. And then the tummy scales also be quite reflective. No idea if the camera can even pick up what I'm doing, but that's fine. I'm just gonna lighten up the whole edge of the belly here. And the tongue tends to have a little shine on it, because it is in fact moist. Just a little one though. Like that. Looking good. And now I want to darken the pupil. A little more black on here. A little more brown. To make a color I like to call brown black. Patented. Do not steal. The eye is like usually the central focus of you know, a portrait, but especially in this picture where the snake is like snuggling right up to the camera. Just really want to make sure I get this pupil correct. I did not Google if you can eat tripoas. I mean, you can eat anything. Donut steal. Such a cute snake. I am very happy with this snake. I wish I could hang out with this snake. If I had a pet snake like this, I would never know sadness again, I think. I think I would just never die, and I would never be sad. Alright, time to do a little bit of refining on the edges of the feathers. I want each feather to have roughly the same shape. Sort of a rounded square at the end. Ew, I just touched my wet paintbrush with my hand when I wasn't expecting it. Gross. Ugh. Gives me the heebie-jeebies. Oh my goodness. Mitsuko says, is this friend or foe? This is friend. Certainly friend. This is one of the pets that you can get in Rain's Forest. And it has two different abilities. One of them is that it can grant a friendly ally within 10 feet of it advantage on a saving throw against being frightened. It just imparts you with blissful energy. That ability is called Positive Aura. And then it has an action called Impart Bliss. Once per short rest, it can stare into its owner's eyes, and it gives them 1 bonus hit point. It's doing its best, you know? Alright, there's its big wet eyeball, looking good. There are a lot of scale patterns on the face and around the eye that I do want to kind of work some more on here. It's quite beautiful how complex animals are when you look closely at them, you know? There's almost an endless amount of complexity in natural life. It's like the harder you look, the more you see. Okay, the scales are starting to look better. Sorry if the stream isn't capturing what I'm doing at all. I don't know if the camera is good enough. Please hold. I need to get another reference. Is it in Discord maybe? Yeah, there we go. Cool. There we are. Now that's a snake, everybody. Guaranteed. Did you know a gram of uranium is 20 billion calories? That's enough to last you the rest of your life. Is there a sugar-free uranium? I'm trying to watch my weight. Owning a snake would give you advantage to resist fright IRL too. 1 single HP, that's all you need really. Blade says, I took a shower. What madness did I miss? Not too much madness, just the average amount. Depends. Were you here for the search history? What if you do a highly detailed watercolor for Pokemon? Would you be terrified of what you created? Ooh, like one of those SpongeBob close-ups? Yeah, someday I want to be half as good as you, Bob. Realistic and cute is hard to do. Thank you so much! That's extremely sweet. I believe you could do it. I don't think you missed too much chaos then. I had an amusing conversation, amusing to me at least. One of my other friends who knows my love of boots and fashion told me he'd never wear boots since tight is not something he likes. Guess who got lent some winter combat boots for their trip in Asia? Iris says, this scale details! I'm glad you like it. The scales are definitely going to take the most time to render, so I'm just slowly working my way down the body. I'm looking very closely at the pictures you sent me to learn how the scales fit together. I want winter combat boots. Hey, it'll keep your tootsies warm, that's for sure. You don't want cold tootsies, do you? Of course not. Okay, let's work a little more on the scales. I want there to be a line of reflections going down this side of the body near the light source at the bottom of the screen. And then same thing here. For the parts of the body that are farther away from the viewer, the scales can be sort of just a hint at the suggestion of scales more than literal detail. The up-close stuff should be very pointedly scales, though, because that will just look better. There we go. That, and then I'm going to grab my medium round brush and do some darker markings. With watercolor, just generally speaking, a little bit does go a long way, so I'm not going to overdo this. I don't know what we're listening to, but it reminds me of like Fantasia. I gotta check and see what this is. Feels very old school. This is from Dragon Quest, called Old Sylvando Symphonic. I've never played Dragon Quest, so I guess that would be why. Oh, my leg is so itchy. Ooh, okay, that's better. If you think it's old school, it truly must be. What's that you say, Sonny? Speak up. I don't know if I'd be that kind of old person, or if I'd be the kind of old person who just goes like, huh? Just loudly and aggressively huns you. I had a great uncle who did that, and it always scared me when I was a kid. He'd go, what? Insert smug face here. It must be from 11. It's from Dragon Quest XI. I do not know my Roman numerals, so you'll have to tell me if that is 11 or not. Seems very 11-y though, doesn't it? My Nana was the type. It is. I'm the half-dead. Repeat that type. I'm half-dead. I want to make the tongue pinker. I know I said I was going to make it peachy, but I think I actually veered too far away from pink. And a little pink is nice. There we go. Yeah, that has a better feeling to it. Peach's Orange's version of pink. So true. That's what they teach you in college. Just gonna do a tiny bit of an outline on some parts of the body here. Nah, I don't think it needs it actually. Just kidding, just kidding. Outline gone. See you later. Oh my god, it's 5:55 already? Holy crap. Time flies when you're extremely focused on painting a flying snake. That's my favorite saying. I feel like... Call me crazy, but I feel like this snake lacks some yellowiness. I'm just gonna add a very faint wash of yellow over a few parts of the body. Just to give it that orangey yellow look that a corn snake should have. Yeah, that looks more pleasing to me. It's got a little burst of color there. Sometimes you can get away with that if you feel like you haven't chosen the color you want. You can just kind of go, just get a little bit on there. Not the time flies! God, a time fly would be a terrible enemy. I don't think I could defeat a time fly in combat. I think I would just lose. I'm seriously so excited to do the foliage for this piece. All the tree trunks and stuff against the night sky. It's gonna look so good. But, so you know, somehow I don't think I'm going to be doing it on stream, because that's going to be at least several more hours of rendering and work. Oh my god, alright. Thank you so much for hanging out, everybody. It has been a pleasure as always. I'm very happy with the progress I've made here. Thank you to Iris, who is out and about right now, for backing the Mycelium Master tier on my Kickstarter so I could create this beautiful, beautiful creature for her. What else? Have a good weekend, everybody. I will see you next week. I will be doing a Vapple Crasher stream next week, and probably also a Halloween stream on, like, Thursday or early in the day on Friday. I will keep you posted on the Discord about what the plan is. Let me see if there's anyone live right now who I can send a raid to. Is anybody even here? Is Clef de Soul live? Oh my god, let's raid Clef. I never get to raid him. He's always raiding me. Oh, and he's playing Ace Attorney too? We can't stop winning. Okay, let's send a raid over to Clef. Raid message is truly a raid as usual. Thank you so much, everybody. And I'll see you next Wednesday. Goodbye. Don't forget to eat shit, gamers. Fare thee well.
Sorry, she just said something, I missed it. Oh, I just said, hi, welcome to the stream, thanks for the raid. How was your stream? What were you doing? Usually I have closed caption, but like it expired or something, it broke and I have to find a new one and I didn't get a chance to use it. What was the Frank's Forest? It was lovely, just making a snack for my game. You gotta go eat, have a lovely. Yes, go eat something. Rest well. Glad to hear that your stream went well. Can't wait.